My Car Geek Hour is sponsored by Cassill Motors.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of 600 WMT.
No open. We'll improvise.
There you go.
Always good to improvise the Little Beach Boys.
The Little Beach Boys, everybody knows it's a Car Geek Hour when they hear the Beach Boys. That's right.
And you just told me 2 hours today.
2 hours. We got a special 2-hour show.
Yeah.
Michael and I will be on here for 2 hours answering any and every question you want on cars, on buying cars, fixing cars, whatever you got a question on your cars. That's what I love to do, and so we're gonna have some fun here, and we're set in here for 2 hours. So
don't wait until the last minute to call.
That's right. Let's get all these calls in here and let's get going.
Now.
Let's have some fun with this today.
Somebody out there is going to start us off, and we want them to. So
there you go.
Numbers to get a hold of us, 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, or star 600 on your U.S. cellular phone. Those are how you get a hold of us here.
Yep. And we got a special thing going on today. Not at Cassill Motors, though.
No.
I mean, we always have specials there. But today, the Moose Riders Club. The Moose Club over on West Post Road. They are having their big Moose Riders ride, and let's see, it looks like it's from registrations from 9 to 11. 11 o'clock, kickstands up, and they're taking off. It's a real neat deal. It's for the Henry Davis Youth Center on Mount Vernon Road. They donate all the money back that they earned today with the entry fees, and then they have a silent auction. Let's see, there's door prizes, silent auction, and they got just the most beautiful quilt that was made that's going to be part of the auction at the end. So if you don't want to go on a ride, you don't have to go to the auction. Between 5 and 5:30 is when they're going to start the auction. I know there's food there. There's ice cold adult beverages and normal beverages. They have a little bit of everything. The folks out at the Moose Lodge are just they're awesome people. And like I said, they donate this ride. They're donating 100% of the money to the Henry Davis Youth Center on Mount Vernon Road. So get out there. Like I said, you can. If you don't have a bike, I think they definitely let you take and follow them in your car. You go on a ride. They're going on a couple different places. It's always a great ride. They have a good turnout and a lot of great people there. So get out there and get signed up. You got an hour left to get signed up there. Otherwise, if you don't want to, go out at between 5 and 5:30. The auction will start, and all the money that's raised is going, like I said, to the Henry Davis Youth Center on Mount Vernon Road. So get out there and bid on the stuff and have a lot of fun. They're a great group of people out there.
All right.
Okay.
Always a good cause when you're giving money back into the community, helping out those local programs.
Helping the youth out here. I know there's some scholarships they give out and all kinds of different stuff that they do. It's a really good deal, a lot of fun. So I wish I was going on it today, but I'm going to be here with you for 2 hours.
That's right.
So I think that might be even more fun.
Well, yeah, we've got callers waiting.
We got callers
so,
like crazy. Let's
which
get
is great.
on this.
So
yeah, let's go. Let's take all these calls.
Yep. All right, we're going to start at our 800 line, 1-800-332-5401. It's going to be Paul in Ottumwa first. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning. How's everything in Ottumwa?
My wife has got a 2005 Buick LeSabre.
Perfect.
She's been complaining about her air conditioning.
Ah, okay.
And I took a ride with her the other day, and I about froze. It was so cold. I said, it's so cold over here, it's freezing my ears.
Yeah.
She said, feel the vents on my side.
Yeah.
Well, the vents on her side are blowing warm air.
Yep.
But on the passenger side, it's ice cold.
Yep.
What in the heck is going on?
Well, you have the dual zone to where you can both adjust your temperatures on both sides, don't you?
Probably so.
Yep. What you have, there's what they call a blend door motor, and there's actuators in there and all this in the heater control cabinet, and one of them is malfunctioning and only letting the driver's side or the passenger side be cold and the driver's side be warm.
I see.
Yep. Sometimes they can go in and they can They can do a relearn, a reprogram on them, and sometimes a sticky motor will start working again. Otherwise, they're going to have to pull the heater cabinet down and replace that motor.
Oh, it's a motor.
Yeah, there's a little electric motor in there, and sometimes does she carry anything on the dash usually? Some people.
No.
Okay.
No.
We get a lot of the construction trucks where the guys will carry pencils and stuff on their dash, and we'll get a pencil that'll go down the defroster vent and make it to where the door won't close all the way. So
okay, the motor, its purpose is to turn a fan or to open the door? What does the motor do?
It's to open up a door and redirect either cold air or hot air into it. So, and it's letting the hot air come in instead of closing it off so the hot air can't get in, it's letting the hot air in. So
it's probably something that you don't think I should try to do myself.
If you're kind of nimble and can get underneath the dash and look around and you might be able to look around in there and wiggle on some wires and on the motors and that and maybe get it to work, but probably going to have to take it into a shop down there.
Yeah, the whole heater contraption's probably got to come down from under the dash to get to it.
To remove a portion of the dash.
Make that stuff too easy.
Yeah, no, it's great that they didn't make it easy anymore. They're dirty dogs anyway.
Well, all right. Thanks a lot, Jay.
No problem. Thanks for calling in.
All right.
All right, thanks for the call this morning, Paul. That was Paul down in Tumble. We're going to keep things going with your phone calls. We're going to go to our Hero line, star 600 on a U.S. cellular phone. We're going to Davenport, where we have Lloyd this morning. Good morning, Lloyd.
Good morning.
Good morning. What can we do for
you today? I have
a
2013 Kia.
Okay.
And I can drive it around town with no problems. I get out on the interstate with it, and the tire pressure sensor will have the flashing light, and then it will go solid. And it will stay solid, and then after a few miles, it'll go out. Is that a common occurrence with them?
Well, it's not a common occurrence with those, but have you checked your tire pressure?
Yeah, I had it into the shop, and I told them about it, and they couldn't find anything with it.
Okay. Do you know what the tires or what the pressure set at on them?
No, I don't.
Okay. What I want you to do is inside the door of the car, on the driver's door, you're going to see a little tag that's going to tell you what the manufacturer wants the tire pressure at. Okay? I want you to look at that, and when the tires are cold, I want you to check the tire pressure on it. I mean, you can do it when it's warm, but we need to adjust the pressure just a little bit. But look and see where that tire pressure set at. What I think you might have happening is the tire pressure is either too low or it's too high.
Okay.
And when you're starting out, they'll give you, from that tire pressure that's in the door, they'll give you somewhere between 5 to 8 pound variance. And if it's too low, what's happening is when you're taking off, it's low, and when you get going, it builds enough pressure. The heat builds enough pressure to get it back into the zone, so you're okay.
Okay.
So look at that. Look at the tire pressure in the door, and then check your tire pressure on the vehicle. Check each tire and see where you're at. Compare those numbers, and see where you're at. Make sure you're not. Because if you're like 6 pounds below it, that's probably what's causing it. Get your tire pressure back up to what it says in the door. Okay. So try that, and if not, what we got is we probably have a sensor that's malfunctioning, and they should be able to plug into it and see which one was reading funny. So.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No problem. If you have any other questions on that, you can always call me at the dealership too during the week. It's 319-396-2698. So I love to answer any questions I can for you.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Have a great day.
You too. Thanks for calling in, Lloyd.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Lloyd. And you'll be at the dealership later today, right?
I'll be at the dealership as soon as we get done here. I'm going to the dealership and having some fun. And then I'm going to the Moose Lodge to go to the silent auction tonight. I'll be there for the auction and everything.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to another phone call here. We got Dean in Dubuque this morning. Good morning, Dean.
Hi, how are you guys?
We are absolutely awesome. How's everything in Dubuque? Is it raining?
It was raining, but it's over with.
Great.
Couple questions. The Honda Nighthawk and my rear brake keeps squealing when I hit the brakes. What can I do to get rid of that squeaking?
We need to be looking at the rotor on it, make sure that it's not got a little bit of glazing on it. And then on the brake pads, the other thing that makes them squeak is pull the brake caliper off and pull your brake pads out, and make sure the edges aren't real sharp. Okay. What we'll have is I'll take a file and just chamfer the edges just a little bit all the way around the whole pad, and that should take care of it.
Okay.
Okay.
And then my other question is about, you talked about when you change your oil, about adding transmission fluid in it?
Yes, definitely.
How much do you add to it?
It depends on how many quarts of oil your car holds.
Okay.
If you got a 5-quart system, I'll put a quart of oil in it. If I got a 4.5 quart, I'll put a half a quart in it. So
it's a 4.5 quart.
Okay, put 4 quarts of oil and a half a quart of transmission fluid.
Okay.
Yep.
And what kind of transmission fluid?
Just any. I like the Dextron Mercon is what I would use. So, okay.
Okay, I will try that. Thanks, Jay.
Sounds good.
Yep, bye.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Dean. All right.
We got a special one here. We
We do. We got a special guest here. We're going to
Yeah.
talk to Landon Cassill now. Good morning, Landon.
Hey, Jay, it's Landon over here. I'm in New Hampshire. I'm a big fan of your show.
Cool.
I've got a 2014 Chevy SS that I'm driving, and I'm trying to figure out how to get the brakes to last longer.
How to get the brakes
any
to last longer? Well,
Yeah, I'm using the brakes, and I got to use them hard, but they just seem to fade.
really. Well, we need to make sure we got proper cooling ducts going to the brake rotors, so we get plenty of air to them. And my suggestion is keep your foot off the brake and keep your foot on the gas. How's that sound?
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll try that.
Yeah.
I'll try that. How's the show going?
It's going absolutely awesome. Hey, I actually got a question for you.
Yeah.
We had a caller last week that had that called in and asked a question about finish line on a NASCAR race, where the actual finish line is. If it's, when you look at these racetracks, they have a line in the track, and then usually they have like a checkerboard part either before or after. They've got some sort of decoration. Where is the actual finish line in a NASCAR track?
That is a really good question. It sounds like a funny question at first, but it's a really good question because we use computer transponders on every race car for timing and scoring.
Okay.
And the transponders are located on the back of the car.
The back?
So obviously, yeah, the back of the car. So
Okay.
obviously, the transponder can't pick up the back of the car when it goes across the painted start-finish line.
Okay.
So there's a transponder line or a timing line behind the start-finish line, probably 10, 12 feet, that would match up with the length of the car so that when that transponder triggers on that timing line, it lines up with the nose on the painted line and going across the racetrack for visual.
So the painted line is just a visual part, and this transponder, that's got to be in the same location on every car?
Yep, every car is in the same spot.
Okay.
NASCAR is pretty specific on the measurements, and actually we run 2 transponders. There's a primary transponder and a backup. So if the primary one goes out, then there's a backup there that'll work as well.
Okay. Well, can we get you to mount your transponder a few inches forward today?
I could try to, yeah.
Yeah. That way,
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that way, if it's close at the end, we can make sure that you win.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know where that would fit in NASCAR's new penalty structure schedule and what kind of fines my team would have to pay. But
we don't want any fines.
Yeah. We'll just try to abide by the rules.
There you go. Sounds good. How's your car for today?
It's pretty good. We didn't make any qualifying runs yesterday until qualifying.
Okay.
And so it was kind of a shot in the dark, and we qualified 34th, which is decent for us. Qualifying hasn't been our specialty this year, so we got through that, and we got the car freed up for the happy hour session earlier this morning, and made some adjustments that went the wrong way and made some adjustments that went the right way. So
okay,
we feel like we've got something that's raceable for tomorrow, and we got one more practice session coming up.
Sounds cool. So, well, I want you to have a good time out there and do good today. So
I appreciate it. We will definitely have some fun. The weather's beautiful. I hope you guys have a good time back in Iowa.
I was following some stuff on Twitter with your team, and I see that you got a new little mini Landon riding with you.
Yeah. The guys on my JD Motorsports nationwide team made a little Lego Landon and attached him to the dash so he could.
I saw that. That's pretty cool.
You co-pilot.
Are they going to start selling those or what?
Well, I think you could just go to Legoland and buy one.
Oh, okay. I'll go to Legoland. That way I get my mini Landon. I got to have that for my collection.
Yeah, I don't think there was any major licensing involved in that. I don't know how we ended up with Legos in the garage. I hope they're not building the car with Legos.
As I say, I hope they're not just playing with Legos. Let's get working on the car. So tell them to quit playing with Legos. Sounds good.
Let me know if you have any more questions.
Sounds good. We appreciate you calling in, and thanks a lot, and good luck today and tomorrow.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Thanks
For the call, Landon. Special guest Landon Cassill this morning.
From New Hampshire.
Yep.
I'm listening in New Hampshire
all the way out there. And, you can listen to this show anywhere, really, if you got the iHeartRadio app. Or you go to WMTRadio.com, just click the Listen Live. You can catch us anywhere that you got an internet connection. So we've got Don here in Cedar Rapids. We'll take him really quick before we got to step out for a break. So we'll get to him now. Don, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Say, I've got an 02 Dakota quad cab, and it just turned 70,000 miles.
Perfect.
Low mileage.
Okay.
And the in-service light has been coming on for I don't know how long. The first thing we did was put on 3 different gas caps, and my buddy mechanic, he put the little computer deal on it, and he cleared the light out, and it was fine for a month, and it come back on again. So there's 2 horseshoe hoses underneath the truck that go to the canister of some kind.
Yep, the evap, the canister.
Well, the one end of the hose was off.
Okay.
So I says, he says, I tell you what. He said, let's just replace both of those hoses. So we did. Put new hoses on it.
Right.
Worked fine for about 3 months, and then the light comes back on again. And I'm going, now what the heck is going on here?
Yeah.
And like I say, we've tried new gas caps and everything else, and the hoses, and it'll run fine for a while, but then the in-service light will come back on.
Yep. What we need, you need to put the best way to find the evap leak is what you're seeing there. Is we need to put a smoke machine on it, and it pumps smoke through all the emission system and through all the vacuum system. Most likely what you got is you got a line that you probably got a couple hoses that are cracked a little bit and just a slight leak. It sounds like you fixed your biggest leak, and that's why now it's taken 3 months to come on. But you got another leak somewhere in the system. And with the age of it, I'd say you probably got a hose that's dry rotted a little bit and causing a little bit of a leak now. So,
well, I got a crazy question to ask you. Okay. I got a neighbor. He's a retired mechanic. He was a mechanic for eons. And he told me that with all this computerization on these vehicles nowadays, he says some of these computer chips are designed to only last maybe 60, 70, 80,000 miles, and then they go bad. And he said, my old car, the in-service light on it hasn't worked for the last 6 years, and he says, and I'm not worried about it because I know what it is. It's this computer chip, and it's a little bitty one. They charge you $400 to put it in, and a 10-minute job, and charge you a minimum shop fee, which is an hour. And he says, I'm telling you that now because I'm retired, and I know for a fact that that's part of the problem because I've changed them. Well, now, I don't know.
If the computer chip in the computer goes bad, the car's not going to run. Okay?
Oh, it's not.
Right. If you have something in the computer that goes bad, it's going to cause either a bad running situation, or it's not going to run. Period. Okay.
Well, the truck runs perfect.
Right. You have an evap leak. which is very, very common. Usually it's a gas cap to start off. That's the first thing to look at. The seal gets bad there. You found that hose there. Like I said, you're going to, with the age of your car and everything, you're going to find that you have another vacuum line that's dry rotted, something of that sort. He is correct on that as far as, if he didn't want to fix it, as long as it's not flashing, you don't have anything serious. And as long as
even
it's
on the the fill neck of the gas tank, I've wiped that down real clean and put a light coat of Vaseline around it and on that rubber ring on the gas cap to make sure it seals. And but like I say, I didn't know where else to go with it. Now this smoke test, what's something like that run?
They're going to charge you probably the minimum shop rate. You're going to charge an hour's labor on it to tell you what's wrong with it. Most shops, if you have them do the diagnosis and then you have them fix it, they'll waive the diagnostic fee. So
what are we talking? 50, 100, 150?
To just tell you what it needs, as far as put the smoke machine on and tell you what hose it needs, you're looking at an hour's labor, which like at our shop we're $99 an hour. So you're looking $100 there.
Well, maybe what I'll have to do is bring it over there to your new shop on 16th Avenue and let the boys take a look at it.
Sounds great. Make sure when you come in, you tell them you're a WMT listener, and they will give you an extra discount because of that.
Oh, well, that's great. Yeah, I listen to this station all the time. So.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thanks.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Yep.
You too. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, we have got to step out for a quick break.
To a break.
Yep. So we'll be back here, 600 WMT. Little do scoop.
There you
Jay's
go.
over here dancing.
You're not supposed to tell that. I'm not a very good dancer.
Oh.
I'd be singing, but I can't sing worth a darn either.
They can't see it. It's fine.
Cool.
All
awesome.
right.
We got some callers here waiting.
We do.
Great.
So I'm going to give those numbers really quick again for those who just might be tuning in. 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, or *600 on your U.S. cellular phone. We're talking with Jay Cassill here. It's the Cassill Motors Car Geek Hour. So if you've got a car-related question, give him a call here this morning. I know he'd love to talk to you.
Motorhome. We just answered one on a motorcycle just a little bit ago. Yeah, so, whatever you got. Boats.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into it, though. We're going to go to our 800 line, 1-800-332-5401. We have Rich in Cascade this morning. Good morning, Rich.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you guys work on electrical?
Yes.
12-volt in a motorhome?
Yes, we do.
You do?
Yeah. What kind of problems you having?
Oh, I've had one that bills repair work on it. Charged me $890, and I have to have 12 volts to run the air conditioner, furnace, and etc. And he still ain't got it running.
Okay.
So if I brought it down to your shop, you could check it out?
Yes, definitely. We can definitely check that out. No problem. So we'd love to.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thanks a lot for calling in.
All right.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thanks, Rich. And you know what? For those who don't know, tell them where you're located at.
We're on the corner of 16th Avenue and Williams Boulevard Southwest, right next to the great big beautiful Tyson's West, and 396-2698. The beautiful Shelly will put you through to whoever you want, and she's actually even there this morning.
All right.
Yeah, I had a bonus this morning. I left home and came into work, and my beautiful wife was sitting there. She had cookies all made and everything. It was awesome. So it's always an awesome Saturday when I get to see Shelly.
That's right.
Yeah, at work.
All right. Let's go ahead and get some more phone calls. We got Lou in Oxford here this morning. Good morning, Lou.
Good morning. Good morning, Jake.
Good morning.
I have two questions. I have a Ford F-150, 1999. The first question is, when I first start out with that vehicle in the morning, I have a drag in the front end on the brakes.
Okay.
It doesn't release probably maybe 4 or 5 miles, and it releases. And then the other, and I've gone into those brake shoes, cleaned everything up, and checked the rotors, checked the pads, everything, blew all the dust out, and vacuumed all that away, and everything looks clean down there. The second question is, when I start that vehicle, probably in the morning, it has a lower, like chirping or ticking sound on the under the lower left driver's side. I've got under that vehicle and checked the power steering and the air conditioning, and the belts and all looks good, and it seems like it might be behind all that, like into the exhaust somewhere.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on those two questions?
Okay, first off on the brakes, do you set your emergency brake at night?
No, I don't.
Okay, good. I would be looking, have you looked at the caliper slides where the calipers connect to the bracket that holds them?
I've taken those loose.
Okay, do they slide in and out very freely?
They seem to. I kind of put I can go in there and check those again, but I thought they did.
Yeah, I would pull the little rubber boot off and make sure that they're 100%, that they're, clean them out and put some grease in there so that they slide very easily.
Okay, so check those. They need to slide easily. Okay.
Yep, those need to slide easy. You could have a brake hose that internally is, when you're pushing the brake first thing in the morning, it's collapsing, and it'll take a couple miles to release there, or possibly a caliper.
Or possibly a caliper. And you wouldn't think it would be in the brake boost area?
I haven't had any problems with those doing that, so I would say no. I mean, we have more problems with caliper slides is the first culprit on it, and then we've had some calipers that stick too. Do you have either of your front wheels that are maybe getting a little more black on them than the other?
The left side.
Okay, that's where I would start first.
Okay, start on the left side.
Yep.
Okay.
So that should cure that problem there.
Okay, caliper and caliper slides.
Yep.
Okay.
And brake hose.
And brake hose.
Yep.
Yep.
Look at those there.
Yep.
Your ticking sound. Crawl up underneath and look on your exhaust manifold. You're going to find that you're missing a bolt for the manifold to the head.
Okay.
And that's your ticking sound in the morning. Right at first, it ticks, and then once the heat expands, it seals back up. What happens is the bolts get rusty, and then the expansion and contraction, it breaks them once they get rusty enough. So you're going to find that you have one or two bolts that are broken on your manifold on that left side.
I need to pull that manifold and put a new gasket in and put new bolts?
You're going to have to pull the manifold and get the broken bolt out of it. Yep. And then replace the gasket and put it back on.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you very much, Jake.
Okay. Thanks.
Have a great day.
You too.
Yep.
We got to go to break now, and we'll be right back. We got people holding on, and we will get you right away as soon as we get back from break.
Yeah, we got TJ, Susan, and Ken. If you all just want to sit tight for us, we'll get to you as soon as we come back here on 600 WMT. All right.
Cool.
Little surfer girl.
We like surfer girls. Mm-hmm.
There was a group when I was growing up, younger, up in New Hampton. They traveled around the area. I don't think they're from New Hampton. They're called the White Sidewalls, and they did a lot of Beach Boy covers. And I always enjoyed going out there and listening to them. It was always about this time of year that they would go play, and
cool.
That was really cool. So that's kind of how I know songs from the Beach Boys and got into them. So. But we do have some phone calls. We've got two people that have been patiently holding. We do appreciate that. So we're going to get to those guys here. We're going to go to TJ first in Iowa City. Good morning, TJ.
Good morning.
Good morning. What can we do for TJ?
I have a 2011 Chevrolet pickup truck.
Okay.
It is a quad cab, four-wheel drive, and it's been doing really well, although in the last few weeks, I've noticed that when I cross railroad trestles, bridges, even some large potholes or bumps, the back end is just jumping all over the road. It's no longer staying, true to the pavement. What's
awesome.
That? What should I be looking at?
How many miles do you have?
40,000.
Okay. First thing I'm going to look at, I want to look at shocks.
Okay.
And with that there, just do the old traditional bounce test on it. Go to the right rear corner, put your knee on the bumper, push down on it a couple times, let up, and see how many times it bounces. Do the same thing on the other side. I think you're going to find one side is probably bouncing more. The other thing you can do, you can look underneath it, and what you're going to find is probably on one of those shocks, it's real wet and oily because it's leaked out the oil.
Okay.
So, but it sounds to me, 40,000 miles is getting to that point where it's probably going to need a set of shocks. And with the description you're giving me there, it sounds like that's what we got.
Good. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem. Thanks for calling in.
All right.
You bet. Enjoy the show. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for calling. We love that.
All right. We're going to stay in Iowa City. Now we're going to go to Susan this morning. Good morning, Susan.
Hi.
Hi there. How are you?
Good.
Good. What can we do for you?
I have a 2013 Ford Escape.
Okay, those are good vehicles. I like those.
I like it, but I don't love it.
Okay.
And I'm thinking about getting something different.
Okay.
And I just want your opinion.
Okay. Somebody wants my opinion. Usually the guys at the shop tell me to shut up and don't give me my opinion. They don't want my opinion. This is good. Okay.
Okay, I'll let you.
Okay, cool.
You'll probably say, just like my husband, I love driving the Fiat 500.
Okay.
We've rented those.
Yep.
And now they have the 4-door, and I'm thinking about that.
Okay. Why do you not like your Escape?
It's too big.
It's too big. Okay.
Yeah, I had a RAV4, a 2003.
Yep.
And they're about a foot shorter.
Uh-huh.
And I just liked the way I could get into little parking places, and I just liked it better.
Okay. The Fiat 500's a nice size car. The thing I don't like about it right now is the serviceability on it.
Okay.
It hasn't been out enough to really give it a good or bad track record. Okay. So I wouldn't condemn it, but I'm not in love with it. I'm kind of like you are with your Escape right now. I'm not in love with it because it hasn't proven anything to me yet. They're cooler than heck. I think they're neater than heck, and I'm going to buy some just because I'm weird. I'm a car geek. I'm weird. And I want to have a couple just to
weird
see
about being a car geek
and try them and see what I got to be able to answer a question like this again more intelligently. So I haven't had the good or the bad on them.
Okay.
So,
well,
my personal, if you were going somewhere there, I would actually back up a year on the Escape and go back down to the 2012. They're a little bit smaller, like you were saying there. I love that 2012 and down Escape is just dynamite. I mean, they're unbelievable. They're awesome.
I didn't realize they were smaller.
Yep, they're just a little bit smaller. They're not as dorky looking. The 13 Escape it hasn't grown on me yet. Mechanically, they're awesome. The looks part of it just gets me on it. If you want to go to more of a car type deal, that Ford Fusion, the Chevy Cruze, the newer Chevy Malibu, they're all pretty cool that way.
Yeah, I want to stay with the look of a RAV4 or an Escape, but then how do you trade down to a?
We do it all the time.
Do you?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, that's no problem there, and you'll love you'll love that 2012 style Escape, and the track record on them is unbelievable. So even the Chevy Equinox is a good one too, and that GMC Terrain. You might try driving one of those.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Okay.
All right. No, I don't mind having a Ford.
Yeah.
I had a Toyota forever, but and then I've had 2 recalls on this thing already.
You know what? All of the vehicles, everything out there has recalls on it. So don't go by recalls on a vehicle. Everything.
Okay.
Yeah, that's everything's got recalls on it.
Okay.
Okay, and you're gonna no matter what you buy, there's 2 things that's gonna happen. You're gonna get a recall notice, and your check engine light's gonna come on, guaranteed.
Oh. Okay, well that's already happened, so
yep,
been there.
Sounds cool.
All right, well I'll look at the 13 or the 12.
Yeah, look at those, and if you get to Cedar Rapids, I'd be more than happy to. I have some of those in stock. I'd be more than happy to go for a test drive with you in them and show you what I think about them.
Okay.
Okay.
Next time I'm up there, I'll stop in.
Sounds great. Thanks for calling in,
Thank
Susan.
you.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, thanks for the call this morning, Susan. We got a few minutes before we got to take the last break of the hour, so we're going to get Judy and Dixon here on our 800 line. Good morning, Judy.
Good morning.
Where's Dixon? Where's Dixon at?
My daughter has an 04 Buick LeSabre.
Okay.
And the stabilizer system goes on. What is that? What does that mean?
The what'd you say? The stabilizer.
It says service stabilizer system.
Yep. Okay. There's a couple different things you got. Probably the ABS light comes on too when that happens. You have a ABS sensor that's acting up of some sort. You need to have it plugged in to the computer, and they can tell you we're going to have a speed sensor that's bad. There's a couple different things that can happen on that. I mean, we've seen it. I just had one just the other day, actually, on this. It was an 05. I think it was an 05 LeSabre, and it had a broken wire.
Okay.
Coming in the wiring harness, going up to the ABS module, which controls the stability control on those.
Okay. Well, she got new tires thinking that was the problem, but
Nope.
it goes on and she presses reset, and it goes off for a while, and then about 40 miles later it comes back on.
Yep. So you have an ABS sensor, a traction control sensor that's acting up on that.
Okay,
So, okay.
fine. Thank you.
No
I
problem.
enjoy your program.
I enjoy you calling in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Where's
Bye-bye.
Dixon? Where's Dixon at?
Dixon, Iowa is probably about 17 miles from the Quad Cities.
Okay, perfect. Sounds great.
Okay,
Thanks
bye-bye.
for calling in.
Bye. All right, thanks for the call, Judy.
We got to go to break.
We got to take one last
Okay.
break here. We got Alan in Dyersville. If he just wants to sit tight for us,
Hang
we'll get to
on, and
him.
We'll get you a first call there, Alan.
Yep. All right, so we'll be back with more on 600 WMT.
There we go. We're back.
We are back.
We're back.
And we want to mention that we are here, Cassill Motors Car Geek Hour with Jay Cassill, 2 hours today.
2 hour special
2
today.
hours. So
keep them calls coming in, and we will get to you.
Yep. So if you're listening thinking the show's almost over, no, it is not. We're going to
Nope.
be here until noon today.
Sounds awesome.
So, all right, we're going to get to, we had Alan on hold in Dyersville. So thanks for holding, Alan. We're going to go ahead and take your phone call now. All right. Good morning, Alan.
Okay, I have a 2006 Buick Rendezvous.
Yep.
The problem I have with it is it has a red battery light coming on the dash.
Yep.
I have put a new battery in it. I have put a new belt and belt tensioner in it.
Okay.
Alternator checked and seems to be good.
Okay.
Not sure what else I can do with it, but it seems like every time it starts to go uphill, red light will come on for a few seconds and then go up. It doesn't seem to have any, affect motor of the vehicle.
Okay. So when you're accelerating a little more, like when you're going up a hill, the red light's coming on. Your battery light's coming on.
Yes.
Okay. I would be looking at a connection problem here first. When you're accelerating, the motor, you have motor mounts that are letting the engine flex. I would make sure that we don't have a motor mount that's bad, that's pulling on a wiring harness. Power brake it up just a little bit when it's sitting in the garage with the hood up, and make sure the motor's not moving too much in excess. And then I would be I'd be following my wiring harnesses. The motor's going to move backwards, okay? So it's going to pull away from the radiator. I'd be following that alternator wiring harness and see it where it goes, and see if you're either coming back and touching a wire that it's maybe rubbed through, or if you're pulling on a connector too hard and it's pulling a connector apart. I'd be following that wiring there. Okay. So sounds like you got a wiring issue there. Connector problem. Again, always look at my ground wires. Ground wire is so important on everything. You're going to have a ground wire going from the battery down to the frame and then to the engine. Make sure that there's no corrosion on our ground wires. Make sure they're all connected. But it sounds like you got a wiring issue there. I mean, I've seen some computers, because that should be a computer-controlled charging system also. But usually, on that there, it's more consistent as far as I've seen them where at an idle it does it, and some different times it'll do it, and I've seen some PCMs do that to it. But your deal, if it does it when you're going up a hill or stepping down on it a little bit harder, sounds like we're pulling against a connection somewhere.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for calling in. So anytime we got, any of these callers, if you ever have a question, or after you've worked on it at home or whatever, or you have any questions, don't be afraid to call me at the dealership, the 396-2698. I love to talk cars, and I'll help you out anytime there. And let me know, if for some reason what I'm telling you didn't fix it. Call me and let's work on it. I'll help you out more. So, and I like to hear that I fixed your car too. So
that's right. It's always good to hear.
Yeah. So hey, we got some fun, exciting stuff coming up again too at the dealership. Mm-hmm. This month we have set out that our car care awareness, which is be on the 24th, we're having a tire changing clinic. Okay, so bring your kids, bring your husbands. A lot of husbands don't know how to change tires, so wives, bring your husbands. We're just gonna have a great big tire changing clinic. We got an area set up. We're gonna pull cars up there, and everybody's gonna learn how to properly change a tire. There is a proper way and an improper way. I'm gonna show you some tricks and tips on how to make it easier to change your tires. If you're alongside the road, and I have a bag of goodies that will help you in changing tires. So the 24th, don't forget, 6 o'clock at the dealership, and I feed you too.
Well, hey, can't beat that.
Can't beat that at all.
Learn how to change your tires and get a free meal while you're at it.
And you get to spend an hour with me.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
I get 2 hours.
You get 2 hours.
I get 2 hours today.
Yeah, but they'll be able to spend an hour with me on the 24th. So isn't that fun?
It's exciting enough to get an hour, let alone 2 hours like I get this morning.
There you go.
So
cool. We got open lines.
We do. 365-0600. 1-800-332-5401. Star 600 on your U.S. cellular phone. We are going for 2 hours today, so we're coming towards the end of the first hour here. But we'll be back on here shortly after the 11 o'clock hour, and we're going to be going until 12 today. So something I wanted to kind of tease that we're going to be talking about the next hour. You were telling me during one of the breaks what Danny in the service department has done.
Oh, Danny, he's done some fabulous stuff in our service department. It's just been absolutely awesome and so much fun. So, yeah, we'll talk about that after break.
So, yeah, that'll be one of the things we want to touch on, as well as your phone calls. So keep those phone calls coming. Again, numbers are 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, or star 600 on your U.S. cellular phone. So we're going to talk about what Danny's doing at the service department at Cassill Motors, as well as we'll touch base again with the car care awareness. Also want to make sure we talk about the website mycargeek.net.
There you go.
Want to get that out there, as well as all the other information. So make sure you stick around here for the second hour of the Cassill Motor Car Care Hour with Jay Cassill.
Sounds good. We'll see you in a few minutes.
All right.
My Car Geek Hour is sponsored by Cassill Motors.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of 600 WMT.
All summer long.
All summer long. There we go.
Or like all morning long.
There you go. That's what we like. So
That's right.
Second hour of the Car Geek Hour.
Hour number 2, and look at that. Phone lines are nearly full.
Phone lines are almost full. They're still open lines, but let's get to some calls and get the lines open.
That's right. We're going to start with Bud in Cedar Rapids this morning. Good morning, Bud.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, what can we do for you?
Hey, I ran into a problem about a year ago, and I want everybody else to know it so they can check it.
Okay.
I've got an 04 Yukon Denali.
Okay.
My wife had a flat tire. She's on the interstate.
I
Go
know where
down
this
to
is
change
leading.
it.
Yep.
It won't come out.
Yep.
I've got an 03 Silverado.
Yep.
Same thing.
Yep.
Tell everybody about that so they can check it before they need it.
There you
Okay?
go. That's part of our tire changing stuff we talk about is knowing your car and everything. But yes, GM is the worst one on their full size when they got the spare tire underneath the vehicle. What you need to do is at least once a year, you need to lower your spare tire and put some extra grease on the cable and slide the grease up. What they have is a safety catch up in the mechanism. And what it'll do is when you start to crank it down, that safety catch gets rusty up in there, and it'll let you lower the tire about an inch, and then it locks up.
And it's not a fun job getting it out of there.
No, it's a matter of cutting the cable. It is a royal pain in the rear end.
Yep.
So
yep, it is.
Yep.
So,
On your General Motors products, you need to lower that spare tire down at least once a year. And, you need to be checking your air pressure on that spare tire, too. I mean, I've seen a lot of people that they pull the spare out, and it's flat.
It's just as flat as the one on the ground.
That's right. So that's part of our deal with our car care awareness class that we're going to do this month on tire changing. And actually, my sister told me the wrong date. It's not the 24th. It's the 31st because it's always the last Thursday of every month. So Stephanie screwed up, but we'll save her on this deal. So the 31st, we'll be talking about spare tires, maintenance on them, and how to change a tire. So
okay,
that's
guys,
cool.
that's all we wanted.
Hey, thanks for calling in, bud.
All right.
I appreciate that.
Thanks, bud. All right, let's go now to Davenport, where we have Dee this morning. Good morning, Dee.
Hi.
What can we do for you?
I am currently driving a Toyota Sienna minivan.
Okay.
It's an 11.
Yep.
I like a lot of things about it.
Uh-huh.
I would have liked to have had the 14, but it was out of my price range.
Yep.
What I was after was the all-wheel drive.
Yep.
Anyway, my other choices were people around me that have Subaru are very happy with them.
Yes.
And now I'm watching these commercials that just pull at your heartstrings when they say, they live.
Yep, they live.
When they show the accidents. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I know they have a good rating for accidents.
Yep.
So I was wondering if that's just really good marketing or if that is a viable option. I know they don't have the best gas mileage, but I'm willing to give that up for safety. My biggest concern is the winter roads, and if you're out on the roads and all of a sudden the weather changes.
Yep.
That's my probably number one concern. I also have family members that have now gone to older model BMWs, and they just love them and say that they probably won't go back to any other type of car.
Okay.
So I just wanted your opinion on the Subaru and the BMWs as far as handling and that safety factor.
Well, the thing with the Subaru is their marketing department has done a phenomenal job on really hammering the safety part of it. Is it any more safer than your Sienna? My opinion, absolutely not. Okay, with the airbag system that they're coming out with and all the government mandated stuff on safety, I really, for your class of car that you're looking at, there's really not a big difference between any of them that I can see. The vehicles today are so much more safer as far as with airbags and all the crumple zones and everything of that sort. Subaru has they have picked their part of it and said, this is what we're going to do. We're gonna work on the safety part and try to get into the minds of everybody thinking that we have the absolute safest vehicle on the road. So I wouldn't go trade off your Sienna for a Subaru just because of that. Okay. The BMW thing, I like the BMWs, the older BMWs. The thing I'm going to tell you on that is make sure you talk to your technician, your repair shop that you have. When you go into the BMW dealer, sometimes you'll feel a little violated. So you want to talk to your independent repair shop that you're going to. Make sure that they're comfortable with the BMWs. The BMWs are just a little bit different to work on. When you need parts, you're usually an extra day or two out on getting parts, so you have a little more downtime. And the one bad part about the BMW is 99% of them are rear-wheel drive, so you're not going to have your all-wheel drive. So
I think what they like about it is the handling.
Yep, their handling, the performance part of them is very, very good. If you're into shooting the corners a little harder and that type of deal, the BMW is a beautiful car for that. I mean, I just had an M6, and wow, they are just absolutely cool and fun to drive. Wintertime, they are most terrible thing to drive. So okay.
I do have a question on the minivan, the Toyota Sienna.
Yeah.
In the winter, when it's desperately cold.
Yep.
I've noticed I cannot get enough heat down in the floor.
Okay.
To keep your feet warm.
Okay.
And I've talked to several mechanics, and the one mechanic said he's had 4 Toyota minivans, and he says the same thing. And he thinks it's just something in there, the way they make them. And I've had people have to put a little blanket on their feet just to keep warm.
Yeah.
So is that just something that's this is my first Toyota, so I don't know if that's just something about Toyota or. I haven't
had anybody complain about it. I'd look at the airflow on it and make sure. You have a 13, it's probably still under warranty. I would be talking to my service manager and.
This is an 11, but.
Okay, it's 11. Okay.
We checked the fuses, we checked filters, we checked all of those things.
Yep.
And it just
you check the cabin air.
Put out a lot of. I'm used to having, like a Ford pickup truck where when you put that heat on, it just blasts out on your feet.
Right. You could have a blend door that's not opening all the way. Like I said, I would want to, if you're in Davenport, right?
Yes.
If you're up by Cedar Rapids, I'd be more than happy to do a little test on it myself. I won't charge anything for it, but need to look at the airflow and make sure you're getting proper flow, because I haven't had anybody complain about that on those. So Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Sounds good.
All
Thanks
right.
for calling in.
Thanks, Steve. All right, we got to keep moving here.
Yep.
We got Nick. He's been holding for quite a while
Yep,
now.
he's
Thanks for
driving.
holding, Nick. So let's get to him next.
Not a problem.
Great. Drive safe.
Call. Appreciate it.
Great. No problem. Drive safe for me. What can we do for you?
Sure thing. I'm in the market for a new large SUV. I currently drive a 2007 Ford Explorer, and I like it, but I feel like I've rebuilt the thing from the inside out. I've pushed 200,000 miles at this point.
Yep.
So I just wanted your opinion on your top 3 luxury SUVs, large, and top 3 affordable SUVs.
The Chevy Tahoe and Suburban, depending on how big you want to go. I'm a diehard Ford guy. If I was buying the largest SUV, the Tahoe and the Suburban are number 1 on my list. I absolutely love them. The new Dodge Durango is phenomenal. It's a little bit smaller than the Tahoe, but it is their full size. They're excellent there. The new Ford Explorer is a very nice vehicle to drive. The drivetrain on it is the same as the Edge and the Taurus, so they're just durable as heck. So those would be my top 3 choices.
Top 3. And as far as luxury SUVs are concerned, you got a 3 favorite list there?
I'm gonna jump into that Cadillac Escalade. If I was doing the luxury, the Escalade is phenomenal. Trying to think luxury-wise, that the Lexus is a nice luxury SUV. They have a couple different models. They got a bigger one too. I don't know. The third choice, I'd probably go with a real loaded-up Explorer.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. The cost of ownership on an Escalade. I was talking with a friend of mine last night about the Escalade, as a matter of fact, and he said he just get some moisture behind a light bulb. It costs him the light bulb alone was $300, and to get the moisture out after labor, he was looking at close to $1,000.
Right.
To replace the light bulb.
And that's not just on the Escalade now. Now
Really?
all these newer vehicles, when you get into that HID headlight, you're going to run into costs like that. But the plus to it is you don't have as many problems with the HID headlights, so you're not changing bulbs as often, and they are superbly, the brightness is awesome. So, yeah. And I would, that when I'm a backup on the luxury SUV, I wasn't thinking there for a second. That Lincoln MKX, which is like the Ford Edge, you get a lot of bang for the buck on those. And the durability on those is phenomenal. Depends on how big you want,
Yeah. Well, have you heard it? What's your take on the Yukon? Just out of curiosity.
The
that
Yukon
one keeps popping up on my list.
Yeah, the Yukon and the Cadillac are the same. They're the same vehicle. So the Yukon would be a nice one. That Denali's a nice vehicle. So the Cadillac has a little more plushness to it, a little fancier. The Yukon's a little more sporty. So,
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for the advice.
No problem.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Sounds good. And as always, if you're looking, don't be afraid to call me. I'd love to help you out on getting one too. So special orders don't upset me. I'm just like Burger King. Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce. Special orders don't upset us. Have you ever heard that?
I don't think I have.
Man, you're too young.
I guess.
Okay, let's go to the next call.
Yeah, we got Goober up in Comanche on our 800 line. Good morning.
Hey,
Hi.
I got a CV joint, a constant velocity joint problem.
Yep. Okay, what's it doing?
The boot is leaking.
Yep.
Throwing the grease.
Yep.
Do I take the old boot off and grease it, or do I just? Is there a way to put grease in there and put one of those new boots, split boots on there?
The split boot I don't like. There's a couple different ways of doing that, and if you're mechanically inclined, I'm kind of a cheapskate myself. So what I would do is I would buy a new boot, and when you buy a new boot, it's going to come with the grease in it, and you're going to pull that CV joint off and clean all the old grease out of it. Depending on how long it's been leaking, you're going to clean all the old grease out of it, re-grease it, put the new boot on, and away you go.
How do you take? Go ahead.
Well, how do you take the CV joint off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Without exploding.
Oh, it won't explode. I mean, if it's all worn out and clicking and hasn't had grease in it for a long time, you need to buy a new CV joint, which is going to be a new axle. So, but if it's just started leaking, it's still got grease in, it's not clicking. I've never had one explode.
It's not clicking.
Okay, I've never had one explode on me there. What you got is there's a C-clip that's holding that CV joint to the axle, and you're gonna pop your axle out, and you're gonna tap on that CV joint. Sometimes you can get in there with a snap ring plier and expand that the clip and slide it off gently that way too. And then just clean out the CV joint with some solvent, clean it all up real good, dry it all up, and then put the new grease, slide the new boot on the axle, and put the clamps on, and away you go. Look at price, though. How many miles does your vehicle have on it?
102.
Okay. Here's where you get into it. Look at the price difference on the CV doing a boot versus doing an axle. When you start looking at labor costs and all that, if you're doing it at a repair shop, you're cheaper to have them just replace the axle. And what you're going to get is you're going to get two new CV joints, two new boots, that type of deal there. If you're going to do it yourself and you don't care about the time you're going to spend on it, doing the boot is the cheapest way. But look at the price difference between a rebuild axle that's going to have two new CV joints and two new boots. So do the math on it and look at it, because sometimes it's easier to pop the axle out and be done. So, okay?
Yeah, I did a CV by myself one time, and I'm not going to do it again, so I'll take it.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you. All right.
And we're going to go to break here, aren't we?
Yes.
So we got to go to break. We got to pay for the show. So we'll go to break, and we'll get these next two callers, and we got more lines open.
Be back here in a minute on 600 WMT. All right, we're back here. Jay
We
Cassill.
are back, and we have lines going, and we still have a couple lines open, so don't be afraid to call in.
Yep, give those numbers out really quick. 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, or star 600 on your U.S. Cellular phone. We're going to get to Karen in DeWitt. She's been patiently waiting on our hero line. Good morning, Karen.
Hello, everyone.
Hi there. What can we do for you today, Karen?
I have a 2008 Ford Taurus. I need the radiator flushed.
Okay.
And I know there's two types of radiator flushes to ask for at the service counter. Can you explain that, please? Because they're not going to tell you. They know what they have behind the counter to work with.
Well, there's really, I mean, it depends on what your shop has. You know, there's a radiator flush that they're going to hook a machine on, and it's got a little extra pressure. Usually they're running chemicals through the system, and they're doing more of a power flush. And then there's the drain, and guys will put just a chemical in with some water and run it for just a few minutes, and then flush that back out and put in new fluid. So that's I guess that's the only really two ways of doing it. With the power flush, like our dealership, we use a power flush and a BG product, and then you actually get a warranty on your cooling system when you do it. So you want to check that type of stuff there in what your repair shop has down there. But just ask them. Both ways will work and are fine. The big thing is getting that old coolant out of there every 3 years or 36,000 miles and getting fresh fluid in there, so that we have our rust inhibitors and our lubricating qualities good. So, okay?
Okay, thank you much.
No problem. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Thanks, Karen, for the call this morning. Let's go to Iowa City now, where we have Roger on the 600 line. Good morning, Roger.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question. Where would one get gasoline tested? The question is that whether there's water in it, and if so, how much?
Well, I don't know of any place to send it. The thing I would do is any repair shop can take a sample of your fuel fairly easily. And, with us, what we do is I'll put if I suspect that we have a bunch of water in the fuel, I'm going to get myself a clean glass jar and take myself a sample of it, and you're going to see, put 3 or 4 inches of fuel in the glass jar and let it sit for a minute, and you're going to see, because water and fuel will separate, you're going to see if there's any water in it and how much you're having.
Okay.
So I'm sure there's a scientific way of taking it and sending it somewhere and everything else. Real life, put it in a glass bottle and a glass jar, and just physically, I can just look at it. Okay.
Okay. And I wanted to applaud you on your proactive approach when your car was stolen. I think that is fantastic.
Well, thank you. So
I wish more people had that insight and that mindset to go ahead and do that.
Well, we at Cassill Motors, we always try to take the positive approach and try to solve the problem instead of making the problem bigger. So, but thank you very much for that. And we have the police department. I guess it's time for an update on it. The police are talking with some suspect, and we haven't got them nailed down yet, but they are working real hard on it, and hopefully we're going to have something very shortly, and we can get some reward money paid out for the people that turned this guy in and get everything taken care of. So
it's all hilarious thinking of every time he makes a phone call, him having to worry about, or seeing someone making a phone call, having to worrying about what it is.
That's right. He knows who he is, and his buddies are all. I mean, it's actually a friend of his that turned him in. So, so it's great. Yeah, got him worried about who he calls and when he calls and what they're doing. So that's good. So
thank you for your show.
Thank you for calling in. We appreciate it very much.
All right. Thanks, Roger, for the call this morning. Let's go to our 800 line now, 1-800-332-5401. We have Ken in Davenport. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I got an off-the-wall question here.
Okay, I got an off-the-wall
Why
answer.
isn't there? Okay. Why isn't there such a thing, or somebody come up with an idea to have car health insurance? Taking an automobile in today to a service rep, a dealership, or independent contractor is just as expensive as going to a medical doctor or a hospital.
There you go.
And what happens, you pay out of your own pocket, but we as humans have got health insurance.
Right.
Why don't we have car health insurance?
Well, we do.
And I don't mean extended warranties. I mean for nickel and dime stuff, like I smell smoke here, there's a wire loose here, it doesn't run right.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? You know, and you get $90 an hour, $100 an hour for diagnostics. You can figure out the problem in 15 minutes sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's a flat shop fee. You know, you go to the hospital, and most of that is taken care of. If you have co-insurance, that takes care of everything.
Yeah. Well, that's where you work with your shop that you're working with, and usually what they'll do is if you're having them do the repairs, a lot of them are going to, depend on what they have for diagnostic time, they'll work with you and waive the diagnostic fee if you're having the repairs done. So, you know, that is a good question. I mean,
it is a good question.
It's a
Here's
very
another
good
thing
question.
Too. If you go in there and pick your car up, oh, you owe us $2,000. Well, can I set up a payment plan? Nope.
Well,
that's it. You pay me now. That's it. Or else we're going to keep your car.
Yep. Unfortunately,
see, it's not fair because cars today are really complicated. And
yes, they
do
are.
need car insurance.
Yep.
It's just a given, but most people don't realize that comes out of their back pocket.
Right.
It's expensive.
Well, that's where
medical. You know, mechanics get as much as medical doctors get.
Well, I don't think they get as much, but
Oh,
you know,
they're up there. So does plumbers and electricians. They're really expensive today, and they don't go to school for 8 years either.
Yeah.
Well,
the big thing is if you're going to have big repairs, the extended warranties do work. I mean, instead of having a $2,000 bill, a good extended warranty will cover, 90% of the stuff that you have on your car. So that is, they are good to look at. So
yeah. Well, we need what we call car health insurance.
There
period.
you go. That sounds good. I'll put that in the list.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ken and Davenport there.
Yeah, we got lots of calls from Davenport
Yeah,
today.
we do have a lot
That's
of calls. All right, so we got a few minutes here before break, so we can get this next
Okay,
call in here.
we're going to get to Bob, and then we're going to go to break?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we'll talk to Bob. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. I'm in Mason City, and I've got a 2011 Sienna with 43,000 miles on it.
Perfect.
And what we have is on the right rear corner, every so often we get a clunk.
Okay.
Not a loud noise, but just a slight noise when we stop or start, but it doesn't do it all the time.
Okay.
I took it into my local serviceman who's done a lot of work for me over the years.
Okay.
And he took the wheel off, checked all the bolts for the assembly portion.
Right.
He couldn't find anything in there loose, anything in the brakes, or in the brakes, and also he checked the spring, and he couldn't. So he says sometimes you find a loose piece in the spring that'll cause something like that.
Right. Now, so this clunk is happening when you take off or slow down?
When you take off or slow down to stop. But
Okay.
it doesn't do it all the time. It only does it like about a fifth of the time.
Okay. One of the things I want to look at is my spare tire. Okay.
Well, he said he checked the spare tire too.
Okay. That'd be the first thing I'd check.
And he checked all the jack and everything else, that compartment. There was
Okay.
nothing loose. He couldn't find anything loose in there.
Okay. That's a hard one without hearing the clunk, but we've had some suspension stuff. You know, there's different control arms in the back, and we could have a bushing that's starting to go bad, that's clunking. I mean, we just had a Kia just not too long ago. It's got a similar type rear suspension on it, and we actually had a adjuster bolt for the suspension that was froze up. So it appeared that it was tight, but it was actually froze up, so it was causing a problem there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be looking at that type of stuff there too. Make sure we don't have on our suspension, we don't have a bolt that's frozen in to the housing. So
Okay, I know. He said why don't we wait until it does it almost all the time? Then we'd be able to find it easier.
That definitely makes it easier. But that's where I'd be looking at. Make sure we don't have something froze up or loose. Okay.
Okay, that's
Sounds
what he
good.
checked.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you.
No problem.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was Bob in Mason City. We got to step out again for a quick break, but we'll be back with your phone calls. If you've got a question for Jay here, give us a call, 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, or star 600 on your U.S. Cellular phone. We're going to get Larry from Mount Auburn
We'll
coming
get you
up
right
next.
after the break.
Yep, 600 WMT. All right.
There we go.
Still here in hour 2.
Yeah.
600 WMT, Jay Cassill. It's Cassill Motors Car Geek Hour.
And you know these WMT listeners are so awesome.
They are.
So I just want to thank them all. They make me feel so good on this. They tune me up every week, and I love helping out. And so thank you guys. Thank everybody for calling. I love it. So
and we're getting them from everywhere. All over Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota. We've had calls from Missouri before.
Yep. So we got a couple calls sitting here. There's still extra lines open, so call in, and I think we're going to take Larry next from Mount Auburn.
Yep, we're going to get to Larry here first. So good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Jay. I have an older Ford, restored Ford with a flathead engine in it.
Awesome.
You used to be able to buy the lead additive for valve protection.
Yep.
And now you can't. You can buy it in a octane booster, but it says on the bottle it does not contain lead. Would you know of any supplier that would handle that lead additive?
The lead additive, I do not. I would be looking at some of the different octane boosters, maybe some of the race shops that might, they might have a lead additive that way. I guess my first call would be Sperry Engines in Cedar Rapids.
Okay.
If there's any place to get it, Scott would be able to tell us on that there. I can get you information on that, or you can call Scott directly down there.
I'll give him a call.
Yeah, his number down there is 390-8636.
All right.
And
thank you very much.
Tell him you
I'll
talked.
see what he can do.
Yeah, tell him you talked to me on the radio here, and he'll be able to help you out.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jay.
Okay, no problem.
Right.
Thanks for calling in.
All right. Thanks, Larry, for the phone call. 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, or star 600 on your U.S. Cellular phone, which is where we're going to next with Lane in Waterloo. Good morning, Lane.
Hello? Lane, are you there?
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi.
Oh, we thought we lost you for a second.
Yeah.
Woo.
No,
Okay.
we got a 2000 Chevy Astro van with the rear air lines leaking, and
Yep.
wonder if I'd replace them or just block them off, or what would be the cheapest repair?
The cheapest repair is going to be to block them off, yes.
Then just the front would work by itself?
Correct. Yep. And if you go to CarQuest, you got a CarQuest store up there.
Sure.
CarQuest has the fittings that they can help you with to block them off.
Okay, well, I heard that earlier caller talk about mechanics making all kinds of money. My cousin, 100 miles away, working in a dealership for $12 an hour. They're not getting rich.
They're not getting rich.
They laid them. No, they laid them off. Well, he didn't have any work to do.
Really?
And
Okay.
With the commission work, he didn't pay anything. He lost his butt doing the hourly diagnosis.
Well, send them down, because we're always looking for great technicians, and with our 2 shifts, we are absolutely slammed with work. My technicians, lots and lots of work to do. So,
Was it a commission based or hourly?
We do both. So, but the commission guys actually make more money than the hourly guys at our place. So, it's real good.
Yeah.
But yeah, have them get a hold of me. We're always looking for great technicians, so we can help them out.
Okay, thanks for your information.
No problem. Thank you. All right.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, Lane, for the call this morning.
And if I guess I didn't tell him, if his local CarQuest store doesn't know what he's talking about or can't get them, definitely give me a call at the dealership, and I can help you out with that too.
All right.
Okay. Let's go to Dan in Piasta.
Mm-hmm. All right. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning. Say, I got an 04 Chevy Astrovan.
Okay.
The blower motor for the air conditioner heater is out, and that's got the rubberized. The motor's never been replaced.
Okay.
But it's got that rubberized panel or cover on it. Do you cut between the dotted lines or between the lines to get that motor out of there?
Okay, so it's still got the cover over it. Yes.
It's still got the rubber cover.
Yep. You can
just
cut along
cut
the
it-
dotted line, and then you can get to the motor.
Okay, and there's no special motor for that.
Nope, just a normal motor.
Okay.
And you can put that cover back on if you want to. It makes it a
Mhm.
little bit quieter.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thanks for calling in.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was Dan up in Piasta. Got a few phone lines here that are busy, but we got open lines as well. 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, or *600 on your U.S. Cellular phone, and that's where we have David in Otter Creek this morning. Good morning, David.
Hello.
Hey there.
I
How are
was
you?
listening to your program, and the guy was looking for the lead substitute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a bottle of it in my hand here. It's manufactured by CD2.
CD2.
I guess it's Tyson's.
Okay. Tyson's will have it.
Yes.
Okay. That's awesome. I appreciate the call in on that.
I run older tractors and that, and I have to have it, so that's what I use.
CD2
All right, thank you very
from
much.
Tyson's.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Sounds good. There's a Tyson's up in his area even.
Yeah.
So
And there's
that's-
one right next to you
And
guys.
there's a great big beautiful one right next to me. So that's cool.
All right. Let's go now to our 800 line. Brian in Muscatine. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've got a 2008 Ford F-150.
Okay, perfect.
I was heading up to the U, and my battery light had come on,
Uh-huh.
and then all of a sudden I completely lost all power. I
Yep.
mean, everything went kind of crazy, and then my left front wheel, there was a scraping all at the same time, and this was kind of weird. Come to
Okay.
find out, my alternator was bad. I replaced that.
Right.
But I'd had my ABS light had been on prior to that,
Uh-huh.
and I was wondering if that scraping was like the wheel sensor, if there's like a magnet in there or something like that that is controlled by the battery when there's no charge left, and then that's what the scraping was.
Because your scraping went away when after you replaced the
Yep.
alternator?
Yep.
And your
What
ABS
I put-
and your ABS light's
Yep.
not on anymore?
It is not on, no.
That's
But I mean, I had checked. I put the check, the engine check. I had the how can I say, the errors checked on the main
right. Yep.
Computer, and there's nothing that came up on that prior to that.
Huh.
But I was told that the ABS is a completely separate system
Well, it's
and doesn't go through that.
Well, the ABS has to have voltage, which is coming from your battery, and your alternator's keeping your battery charged up. I mean, it's possible that you had when the voltage was getting low enough that the ABS system was making some noise, and the ABS controller would be in the left front. So that's possible it was making noise because it didn't have enough juice to run it. But as far as a scraping in the wheel, I can't think of anything that would scrape, but I'll bet you were hearing the ABS was chattering, the module was chattering because it didn't have enough juice to run it. So, okay.
Yeah. All right. I thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you for calling in.
All right. Thanks, Brian. All right. More phone calls here. Let's go to Richard in Cedar Rapids. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning. I got a 2000 Honda Odyssey that's starting to make a noise in the front
Okay.
wheel bearing or the drive shaft.
Okay.
Are them hard to replace? Or
Those aren't hard to replace, and it's easy to tell whether you have a drive shaft or a wheel bearing.
Okay.
What I want you to do is when you're driving down the road and you're hearing that growling, okay?
Yep.
Slightly turn the wheel. Make sure there's no cars beside you, please.
Yeah.
But turn your wheel one direction and then turn it the other direction. And what you're going to find is when you turn it one way, the noise is going to get just a little bit louder. And when you turn it the other way, the noise is going to go away. If that's the case, if the noise goes away, then you have a wheel bearing. And at that point, we determine, go back and forth a couple times, and you can determine which side it is. What you're doing is when you turn it the one way and it gets louder, you're putting more load on that wheel bearing. That's why it's getting louder. And when you turn it the other way and it goes away, we're taking the load away from it.
Okay. I've done that. So I'm pretty sure it's a wheel bearing.
Okay.
So what's it cost to have a wheel bearing replaced?
The wheel bearing, if it's a hub assembly, they're a little bit easier. And the hub assembly is probably a $250 to $350 deal and a little bit of labor. If it's a pressed-in one, you got a little more labor and a little less on the wheel bearing, but you're still going to be probably $350 to $450, somewhere in that area.
Okay. I'll give you a call next week and set it up. Okay.
Sounds great. I appreciate the call.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. All right, we got to step out one last time for the last break here, but we got 3 phone calls, so we'll get to them next here on 600 WMT. All right.
There we go. We're ready for some more calls.
We are. Let's see if we can squeeze these phone calls in. We're going to go ahead and go to John in Cedar Rapids on the Hero Line. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
Good morning. What can we do for you?
This is John Hanson. I don't know if you remember me, but I wanted to not talk about cars, but to thank you and all of your family for everything you do for the veterans.
Oh, not a problem. We want to thank the veterans for everything they've done for us, the current and the vets and the current people in the service. So we appreciate being able to come here today and voice my opinion and say what the heck I want to say and be safe because of them. So
right on, brother.
We thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Right. Thanks for the phone call this morning, John. All right, let's go to Iowa City next. We're going to talk to Omar in Iowa City. Good morning, Omar.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for the show.
No problem. Thanks for calling. What can we do for you?
Yeah, I have a 99 Corolla that I'm rebuilding the engine, and I'm trying to figure out the main bearing size so I can order the new set of bearings.
Okay.
But it's supposed to be written on or engraved on the block, but it's not shown clearly anymore.
Okay.
So I have to make a measurement somehow.
Yep, you're going to need a micrometer of some sort there to a dial indicator, so that you can figure out the exact size. You're going to have to take the crankshaft out of it and measure it from that point and measure the crank diameter.
So I can measure the crankshaft with the micrometer, but how about like the inside bore where the crankshaft sits, like where the actual bearing?
That part there should be that's going to be a standard size on that. You're when you're ordering for a Toyota Corolla, when you're at the motor shop or parts department, you're going to be ordering for that car, and then you're going to order by your crankshaft size with the micrometer. Okay. So,
because
the outer.
It says on the manual that it's like each bearing could have a different size.
Correct. So you want to measure every journal on your crankshaft, and make sure everything's good there. Wow, what happened there? I don't think we might have lost him. But yeah, you need to measure every journal. So.
All right.
Okie dokie.
Okay, let's go now to Solon.
We're going to go to Paul in Solon.
Morning, Paul.
Hello. Hey, my son, he's a college student, bought a 98 Ford Contour.
Okay.
Previous owner, it didn't start, has the key, turned it on. What he's come up with is that passive
the theft system. Yep.
Any ideas on how to get a key programmed to it so he can puts the key and the little light just continues to flash?
Right.
Whereas his other Contour, same year, turn the key on, the light comes on solid for like 2 seconds and goes off.
Yep. It's not reading. The PAT system is not reading the key.
What do you suggest?
You're going to have to get it into a locksmith or a dealer that he can reprogram the key to the car.
Okay. Do you guys have the equipment to do that? Or
yes, we do. Yep, we can take care of all that for you.
Okay. Well, it's still on the trailer, so I'll let him know. And about how much does that run?
You're going to be looking at an hour's labor, $99. If we don't have to cut a key or anything, you already got keys. So.
Yeah, he's got one key. Yeah.
Yep. Sounds great.
Okay. Well, I'll have him probably see about doing that. How late you open during the week?
Till 9 o'clock every night.
Till 9 o'clock at night.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you, and I'll see about bringing it up.
Sounds great. Thanks for calling in, Paul.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for the phone call this morning, Paul, and thanks to all the listeners, all the great WMT listeners out there.
They were awesome today, so we're getting close to the end of our show, aren't we?
Yes, but I know we teased about the end of the first hour, but let's go ahead and talk about it here towards the end.
Yes. Okay, Danny, my service manager, he has come up with a deal that, Cassill Motors, we have our lifetime engine warranty on the vehicle you buy, which is 100% zero deductible, that type of deal, so it's an awesome deal. But Danny came up with a deal for his customers also, the people that maybe didn't buy a lifetime engine warranty car or new to Cassill Motors. With our oil changes, Danny is it's a lifetime engine warranty that is set up when you bring your car to Cassill Motors to be serviced. He can get you a lifetime engine warranty. Also, transmission. He's got a system set up that is just unbelievable to warranty engines, transmissions, power steering units, air conditioning systems, differentials. So he's done a lot of research on this, and we're all really, really excited about it. So now you can, when you bring your car in, you can get warranty on your engine just by getting your oil changed to Cassill Motors. And transmission, everything. Yeah, so it's a neat program. You have to come in and talk to Danny. Danny or the service advisors. They can tell you all about it, and it's a really neat deal. So it's even more reason to have your car serviced with Danny. So
there you go.
Yeah. So. And
then also we want to talk about the car care awareness that's coming up the end of the month for you guys.
Yes, the 31st. It's the 31st. Last Thursday of every month, we're going to have our big tire changing clinic. We're going to check over, I'm going to show you the different things you need to be checking on your car to make sure you're ready for a flat tire, and the proper equipment to make it easier for you. Maybe it's something to make it easier for your son or daughter, or something to make it easier for your husband to change a tire. Wives never have a problem with that. They're my best students when I get them in there. Everybody thinks that we need to teach the ladies how to change tires. I'm telling you, every lady I've had in there, they have done an awesome job. I have more problems with the guys on changing tires. So
sometimes they're just afraid to admit they need some help.
Yeah. So ladies, bring your husbands and bring your kids. The 31st, 6 o'clock. I'm gonna feed them, so you don't even have to cook for them. And we're gonna have a great big tire changing clinic at Cassill Motors.
All right, real quick before we get out here, where are you located at?
We're on the corner of 16th Avenue and Williams Boulevard, right next to the great big beautiful Tysons, and 396-2698. And my most awesome, beautiful Shelley will put you through to whoever you want to talk to.
All right. Well, Jay, I want to thank you for the 2 hours today.
Hey, thank you for having me, and thank you for all the callers that called in, and you guys make my day.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's it for the Cassill Motors Car Geek Hour. I'll be gone next week. Doug Wagner's going to be filling in with Christina Kelly live at the Farmers Market in downtown Cedar Rapids. Jay's going to be back, though. He's going to be in studio with Jim Doyne. So you guys can look forward to that next weekend. So I'll talk to you in 2 weeks. 600 WMT.